Hello to all of my fellow agents, real estate agents, brokers, and those interested in the real estate industry or possibly considering being interested. We are continuing on our series on things that they did not teach you in real estate school. Certainly not on HGTV. We took a little break with the holidays, but we are back today with one of the most probably for your long-term business success, I'd say the most important topic potentially. So today we're going to talk about defining your standards and your systems. And so it's no secret that we are in an industry that is built on personal relationships because of what we do to help people. There has to be a high level of trust. And let's be real, there's a lot of competition. So we're going to talk next week about your unique value proposition. But for today, we're going to talk a little bit as well about your standards and how you want to operate your business for your business sake and for those who you're working with. So first of all, you want to make sure that you have consistency and that you're working smarter, not harder, right? So the first thing we want to look at is your systems and processes duplicatable and scalable? And so with this, I heard it said if you're going to do something twice, that you should create a system or a process for it. And it's super important, one, to provide to keep your sanity and to provide the highest level of service to your customers and clients. Because if you have those systems and processes in place, you're going to make sure that the level of service that you're giving isn't based on how many fires you're putting out that day or that week or during that contract period. The other thing is that the average person moves about every 7 years or so. So we want to make sure that our systems and processes are in place. One, to make sure that they have a fantastic experience and that the process goes as smooth as possible. But also, once that transaction ends, we don't want our relationship to stop there. And this is something that we take very, very seriously. So I recommend that you take past client out of your vocabulary. Now, from a fiduciary standpoint, yes, the transaction ends at closing. However, that's not where the relationship ends. In fact, we like to say that that is where the relationship really actually begins with our clients, because now we've taken them all the way through that process. And again, average person moving every 7 years or so. So they're probably a future client at that point, but they're certainly going to be one of your VIPs. And potentially be able to share your information and with those that they know, because now you're someone, hopefully, that they know, like, and trust, and you've made that process really easy for them. So the last thing I want to say about that, systems and processes, standards and systems, is also making sure that you're treating everyone in a way with a high level of service that you want to be known for, and that is going to make them want to continue that relationship. And the flip side of that is that we teach people how to treat us. So be careful. We want to provide very high level service, but at the same time, if you're like, hey, call me anytime, day or night, and people call you at 11 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning, that was the expectation that you set. So setting those expectations for yourself. Me, you can call me anytime because my phone will be on do not disturb. But you can't be upset if you're basically teaching people how to treat you. Your schedule is your schedule. So if you have family obligations or priorities, then you want to make sure that you're setting those expectations as well with your clients. The last thing would be kind of ties into this work-life balance. So people talk about work-life balance, which is, I think, difficult for most people, especially in our culture in America. However, it's incredibly challenging for people in our industry, and probably any sales type industry where people have access to you 24/7 potentially. And so I think I love there's a book by Gary Keller called The One Thing, and in there he talks about something I think is super important to understand, which is it's impossible to have balance. But what we're looking for is a counterbalance. So I kind of think of it like that phrase, work hard, play hard, right? So sometimes you are, especially if you're in a seasonal area like us, you're going to have to kind of grind it out for a few months sometimes. But then make sure that you're taking that time to reconnect with your family and take care of yourself, and take a vacation when you're planning your year, first thing you put on your calendar, and ultimately to wake up every day and know you're the CEO of your own business. So if there's things that you want to change, that is completely within your control. If you ever kind of need resources as far as that kind of counterbalance we talked about, or any of these systems or processes, as always, feel free to reach out. But next week, I'm super excited to come back and we'll talk about your unique value proposition, which very much ties in to this session as well. So I will see you next week.